And in Nigeria, of course, we saw the Nigerian market kicking off the second quarter very nicely indeed. We saw the NSE index up 2.4% yesterday, largely because of the gains we saw in the banking sector and quite a few others as well. Of course, there were quite a number of results released yesterday, and we'll get to that with our guest to give us his perspective. We are joined by Ajibola Jolaosho. He's the CEO of CDL Capital. He's going to share a few thoughts on the market. Thank you so much, Ajibola, for joining us on our show today.
Thank you.
And I think a good place to start will be those results. Of course, the big ones was Zenith Bank and GT Bank, largely ahead of many people's expectations. But what did you make of those numbers, and how do you see this setting the scene for the bank's earnings season?
Yeah, at the review I had here, the first quarter, I did say that the second quarter we are going to see movements in the market as a result of corporate actions. This is based on expectations of better days, better returns to investors as a result of what we have seen in the progress some of these companies had made when they released their second and the third quarter results for financial year 2012. We expected that corporate actions this time around will come out very strongly and will move the market. And that is what we started seeing, from the spate of the results that have hit the market up to now.
Okay. Yeah. And, but your thoughts on the numbers themselves? We saw GT Bank's profits up 81% to 86 billion naira. Zenith Bank up well over 100% to 101 billion naira. Like I mentioned, slightly ahead of some people's expectations, but definitely very good numbers. Your thoughts about those numbers?
Yeah. If you look at the Zenith figures, for instance, you will see some kind of strategic benefits that they are reaping from the income mix. If you look at the operating income of Zenith Bank, they had a total of about 221 billion as their operating income, and in this income you have over 100 billion coming from fixed income trading.
Yeah, so very focused on investing in T-bills and government bonds.
Yes, you see that securities trading is becoming a very large proportion of the business of financial institutions. Yeah. And this, I believe, you will begin to see in virtually all the results. If you look at the result of Zenith Bank, you will see that actually resulted in a big jump between the growth in profit after tax and the growth in profit before tax.
And of course, I think there was also, like some analysts noted, the tax, something like a tax credit, some write-backs. Well, we will get some more details when we speak to the CFO later today. But you mentioned the interesting point that banks are likely to continue to lean largely to income from securities trading. But my question to you is, how sustainable is that model? Because banks are actually supposed to be lending money to the real sector and to other sectors in the economy. Yeah,
if you also look at Zenith Bank and GT Bank, from these two banks, if you look at their results, you will see that they also grew their loan books moderately. And they grew their deposit base also moderately.
Do you think that's going to be the trend going forward?
Yeah, I see more activity in the fixed income or securities trading market, and I also see that over time, the banks were just coming from a period of reforms. They have adjusted their strategies. I see over time, with very good risk management practices, every operator now is already upping their operation in that area with very strong risk management practices, I see the loan books growing gradually.
Okay. Let's shift gear a bit and move to other sectors. Unilever, of course, also releasing numbers yesterday, but not as exciting as the banks. We saw profits pretty flat, just about 1% growth to 5.6 billion naira in profit after tax. And it always brings up the conversation around the Nigerian economy. These are companies that have operations right across the country. They're not in the financial space, they're in the real sector. So your thoughts on what we can take away from these numbers in judging the consumer market in Nigeria today?
Well, I think it is well with the consumer market. What I can take from what we have seen in Unilever's result is that Unilever over time had, from the results that we are seeing, had slowed down in the area of investment in future expansion. If you compare their results and you compare their operations with that of Nestle Foods, you will see Nestle Foods, you see a lot of investment in expansion.
Quite a bit over the last few years.
Yes, and if you do that, you will see that at every time or as the days go by, you always have new products, you have more supplies to the market, you can grow your revenue and also your profit. And if you introduce new products, into the market, during the product life cycle, you will see that at some point, maybe at the point of introducing, you incur more expenses, and at some point, the introduction of these products will get to maturity stage. All right, and you begin to reap profit from them.
Okay, let's end it on this note. Many analysts are calling Unilever a sell, not because the company is not fundamentally good, but simply because the price and valuation is somewhat stretched right now. Which stocks do you think in the consumer space are still good value? Because a lot of people will point to Nestle, point to Nigerian breweries, Guinness, as being somewhat overpriced right now.
Yeah, I still see opportunities in NASCON. I see opportunities also in stocks like well, even though their price is also driven up, stocks like Presco and Okomo Oil, I see a lot of opportunities there for returns to investors. And I would encourage investors who are shopping for returns on their investment to look at these stocks very well.